By the way, Bacon, what are you doing?
Okay, we have a new player joining us for the Elder game. So, um, well, Luka, hello.
Hello.
We're gonna go through the character creation for
Sounds good.
your Elder. Um, I hope you've noted somewhere what you've spent the freebies and experience on, because that will make this a lot easier.
Yes, I put it down on the Google Doc of my character sheet.
Why don't you copy it into the notes under the specialties in your Roll20 sheet, because it's a lot easier for me to check there.
Sure. There you go.
Don't see it yet. There we go, now I see it. Okay. Let's see. So, why don't you run us through what is your primary, secondary, tertiary for attributes, abilities, so I know where to start counting, and those who are just listening to this have an idea of what it looks like.
Okay, so my primary... You want to go through my abilities or my attributes first?
Both attributes first.
Okay, so my primary attribute is social.
Mm-hmm.
I put most of my points in 5 points of manipulation, 4 into charisma, and 2 into appearance.
Okay.
And then my secondary is mental, where I have put 3 into each. And my tertiary is physical, where I have 3 in strength, 2 in dex, and 3 in stamina.
Okay, and some of those are bought with XP or freebies, from what I understand.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go through what has been bought. You have 4 extra background dots, we said, right?
Yes.
So,
I used all of those to lower my generation.
okay. The rest went in resource and status. Okay, excellent.
As for my abilities, my primary was skills, 2 in drive, 4 in etiquette, 3 in firearms, 2 in larceny, 1 in melee and performance, and then 2 in stealth.
Okay.
My secondary was knowledges, where I put 2 in academics, 4 in finance, 1 in investigation, 2 in law, 1 in occult, and 2 in politics. And my tertiary was talents, where I put 2 in alertness, 2 in awareness, 2 in empathy, 1 in expression, 2 in leadership, and 1 in subterfuge.
Okay.
And some were purchased with freebies and XP.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Virtues haven't been bought beyond their starting values. That is excellent. 7 humanity, and the starting willpower would be 3. 3 dots brought with freebies. Excellent. Okay. That's not. I wish this. I'm gonna just copy this whole thing into the text chat. It should be more easily viewable for me.
Okay.
So, let's see. Talents were tertiary, so you have bought a total of 5 points there. And I think you've bought 2 points in knowledges, right?
I believe so.
And I think 2 points in skills as well. So, freebie point buys. Let's see. I'm seeing 3 for talents with freebies. And alertness and awareness bought up with XP, so that accounts for that. Good. We have etiquette and melee bought up with freebies as well. For skill, so that accounts for 2 dots there, and then we just have the... What was it? 2 extra ones for knowledges, right? So that is politics and finance, which was bought with freebies. So that looks good so far. So we have 3 on willpower and then 6 skills. That aligns. And Merits and flaws are balanced. We'll discuss those in a second. Good. Okay, physical was tertiary, 2 dots of stamina bot, and wits had the 3rd dot bot. Okay, that is good. Clan disciplines, that's also good.
I spent XP to up my my clan discipline for domination.
Yeah, that is perfectly fine.
Right.
1 law, 1 politics. I think you might be missing 1 dot of knowledges. Let's recount. So 3 have been bought, and we are seeing 6, 9, 12. No, it lines up. Never mind. Okay. Then you have bought manipulation up to 5 with XP, and strength up to 3. Okay, the attribute buying, you could be doing a bit more efficiently here, and generally allow min-maxing in those cases where the final stats end up looking the same. It's more a question of you not taking stats you should have that I oppose than you rearranging what you buy with what a bit to make it a bit more efficient.
Alright.
So, in physical, you are spending to buy 2 dots of stamina and 1 dot of strength. First of all, you're missing a free point.
I am? Okay.
For another, it would cost you 12 to buy stamina to 2, not 20. So you are significantly gimping yourself beyond what you should have.
My bad. Okay.
So
The stamina dot would cost 12, you said?
first one would cost 4, second one would cost 8.
Okay.
Other than that, you could strength. If you're gonna buy 1 dot there, first of all, you have 1 more free dot there that you could spend on something. Because you get 3 for free in your tertiary, not 1.
Okay.
And for another, if you're gonna buy in a situation like this, you should be buying dexterity to 2 instead of strength to 3 and save 4 more XP that way. And much the same thing with manipulation. You should be spending 4 XP in social, not 16, because you should be buying up appearance from a min-maxing standpoint. So you should have a hefty chunk of XP more than you thought you did, so you will be able to buy a few more things up.
For the last one there, you said that would save me an additional 4?
No, it would save you 12, because you're
An
buying
additional 12.
appearance 2 instead of manipulation 5.
Okay, so that leaves me with... all of that leaves me with 32 XP. I do believe.
That might be accurate. So you have adjust the expenditures and just delete the freebie and the extra background point stuff, and just leave the XP part, and and just recount it once you have it set down for what it actually costs, right? Or copy it into chat. I'll get to you in a second, Bacon, but essentially 150 XP with 10 extra backgrounds or 205 extra backgrounds. And max of Gen 8. Okay, so you should have a fair bit more. Given how high your charisma is, and if you're going with semi-social Ventru, I suggest upping your intimidation a little bit to 2 or 3 with XP, and taking 2nd level of presence. It's a damn useful power. And this will also buff your ability to use Dominate 1.
Alrighty, so I'm saving the XP with Appearance 4, and then spending the free point, the starting point on Strength. Okay.
Yeah, and the
So-
stamina was just straight up cheaper than you thought it was, because it would cost a total of 12 to raise it from 1 to 3.
Okay. So in total, that's going to leave me with 32 extra XP. So I'll up Presence to 2nd level. And then...
Okay, that's 27 left.
Then I'll pop another point into Intimidation.
The first level would cost 3, so that's 24. And don't be afraid to take 1 or 2 stats to 4 or 5, if need be. I see you've done that with Etiquette and Finance, and that's fine, but those things that your character relies on the most for his survival, it's okay to be specialized, as long as it's a character that could reasonably survive in the world of darkness in some kind of niche.
Okay. I'll throw another point into Intimidation to bring it up to 2.
In that case, we have 22 left, and ideally make the changes on the Roll20 sheet so I can see them.
2. Okay.
Since that's our primary document, and the various Google Docs and PDFs are backups in most cases.
Alrighty.
Okay.
And then get Strength.
Okay. So 22 left.
How much
Judging
did the
from
Presence
your-
dot cost again?
5. It's
Okay.
current rating times 5 for in-clans. And then we have a question of how you want to do the rest of it. There's certainly good higher level presence or dominate abilities if your character has done some fighting, which, judging from his stats, he might have. Fortitude is always good, or you have enough XP left that you could take a level or 2 in and out of clan power.
By the way, I think it might be worth mentioning, especially because the last guest character is certainly got to be something a little bit unusual. Maybe be slightly lenient on either an out of clan or maybe even a combo discipline if you wanted.
Combo discipline's probably not a thing, but a rare out of clan, if it makes sense, we can certainly discuss it. Essentially, it's like this. The common 8 as out of clans. Just assume you can. Anything rarer than that, run it by me.
The only 2 out of clans that I think might make potential sense for my character would either be Auspex or Obfuscate.
Either of those you can take just fine if you want them. You even have about equal stats for both of them. So, whichever you prefer, though, if you are trying to build a financial empire these days, Auspex would be slightly better since it would help you read people.
Okay,
It also helps with, to a degree, if you get it to a decent amount, it can also help with understanding when people are attacking you financially and such.
It does come with some low-level danger sense, which once you get it to higher levels isn't so low-level or meaningless anymore.
Okay. How much XP would it cost to bump Auspex up to 2 dots?
The first dot would be 10 and the second would be 7. So total of 17.
And that'll leave me with 5 XP.
Yes. If I was you, I would probably bump empathy to 3, given that it's a roll for Auspex, and that, it's useful for reading people. Other than that, Intimidation is good because it affects 2 of your discipline rolls. Or you can save it, or you can buy Fortitude too. We do make Fortitude stronger than it normally is, we allow you to use blood points to activate it for a form of guaranteed soak.
Okay. I will take the extra point of fortitude for the survivability.
Okay. Then, I should brief you on how we do it. Essentially, you can declare that you are spending points on fortitude. It counts like celerity. No matter how many points on it you spend, it always counts as just one of your blood per turns, right?
Okay.
And then, essentially, it counts as automatic soak versus all attacks for that round. But for each point of soak that you activate, you are essentially spending a blood point, which means that powerful elders like Demi's character can withstand some pretty serious attacks, but they go through blood very quickly. It's an extremely potent force multiplier, similar to celerity in that it's extremely powerful, but it goes through resources fast.
Right.
And just make sure that all of your stuff is picked over to the Roll20 sheet. I see that intimidation isn't there yet, and neither is presence or aspects or the fortitude dot.
I will put that on there now. Let's see. Okay. I think I have everything on the sheet.
Okay. It looks about right. So, you have a mysterious note here, which should be available to you and editable. Why don't we go through where your character comes from? So, you wanted to be an Imperial Russia refugee.
Correct.
I think given your XP, it makes sense for you to have been turned at about the turn of the century there. So you would have spent some 60 years as a vampire at this point?
Yes, I believe I calculated it to 63.
Hmm.
No, I'm sorry, 66.
Yeah. He does have the full background thing already set up. If you
I
haven't
have,
checked it yet.
Well,
I have a
migrate
backstory
it
written.
over to the note in the player's directory so I can see it here. Because I'm also showing it on screen to the people who are actually watching the character creations. So
You want me to put it in the mysterious
Yeah,
yeah,
put
yeah,
in the
yeah.
mysterious note.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have other people's stuff here as well. Except Jackalor's, which isn't visible to everyone for some reason. Fuck Jackalor. Gonna make these visible. Actually, Alan's doesn't matter. Oh boy.
There we are. Alright,
Okay.
send the note.
Don't delete it. Alan's backstory is the most pretty one. Look at the colors.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try and read this at some point when I have a free moment. And I'm gonna scroll through this slowly so people can pause and read if they wish. But just give me the cliff notes for now so the people who are just listening can hear.
Sure. So Konstantine was born the only son and third child of minor nobility in Imperial Russia. They controlled a county north of the location of present-day Moscow. His youth was relatively he was kept in the house and kept to his studies rather than being allowed to go out and play and socialize all too much. Most of his socialization occurred with his father's court and the other members of the administration. As he came of age, he took to less than legal practices to try and grow their family's wealth as it had been dwindled rather significantly over the years by relatives and other members of his family that cared very little for saving and focused mostly on spending on unnecessary luxuries. This this kind of pragmatic take on growing his finances and lack of care for law kind of caught the attention of the Duke under which his family served, who happened to be a rather prestigious Ventru. The Duke came and visited him for a typical social gathering, and took to visiting him in the middle of the night on the final day of said gathering, and offered to take him under his wing and start educating him to eventually one day join the Ventru clan. I believe I wrote that 7 years passed of his mortal life as he was specifically educated before he was actually offered to be turned. The Duke simply wanted to ensure that the potential kindred was actually properly prepared and would not embarrass him when he was introduced to the prince or to the court.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I think Russia was more Bruja than anything, so letting the Bruja see a Ventru stumble, even a young one, would have been a no-no.
Yeah. After he was turned, another 3 years passed before he was forced to separate from his sire because of the situation with the communist uprisings in Russia. And his sire had him leave the country to go to France, which is my understanding at the time a large number of Russian nobles went there to kind of seek refuge before and after the February Revolution. There, Konstantine found haven in the city of Bordeaux when he went to the Prince of Bordeaux and inquired as to if he could make a place in the city. Because of this, he kind of viewed it as a major boon and took to serving the Prince of Bordeaux in an attempt to work off this boon for the next, what did I have it as? 60-something years, I do believe. During this time is when my character kind of made enemies out of the Giovanni. There was an item of importance to the Prince of Bordeaux that Konstantine was sent out to steal from one of the countryside estates in France, and unbeknownst to him, it was controlled by a Giovanni. And so as he successfully stole the item, the local kindred discovered him, and a short fight ensued in which neither party was really hurt, but Konstantine managed to escape, and since that day, it's been a bit of a sour name to the Giovanni.
Okay.
Eventually, the prince recognized that Konstantine had worked enough and done enough for his domain and him specifically to make up for the boon, and he was released from that servitude to make up the favor. And at that point, shortly before that point, a word of the kind of poor standing of the Ventru clan in New Orleans crossed Konstantine's ears, and so he decided that it was high time for him to leave France and try to seek power in the New World.
Okay. See, Jackalore? This is how you work off a boon. Not fags in neck! That's not how you do it!
Why was faster?
You motherfucker! Okay, you can take a look at some of the others' backstories. I would like a short overview broken down by years at some point from you.
Okay. Sure thing.
Other than that, very detailed, very nice, much appreciated. So, as far as your negative relationship, that would be with Giovanni. Who would be your two positive ones?
My positives are the Nosferatu and the Tremere. My character specifically views the Nosferatu in a relatively positive sense because he likes to maintain his interactions with them in a very professional and respectful fashion. He sees the Nosferatu not necessarily as something to hate, but as something that is potentially extremely useful. And because of that, any typical hatred for their appearance or their lack of social capability has kind of gone out the door in the name of usefulness.
Okay.
And as for the Tremere, the positive relations that he has with them is sired of his fear of them. He has taken rather significant note of their potential to very easily cause a lot of harm, and because of that, he's done his best to always keep them in a positive light, or keep himself in a positive light to them during any interactions he's had.
Okay, so properly fearful and respectful from the Tremere point of view. Excellent.
Lol.
Meanwhile, the sheriff, in front of the chantry as the Tremere Primogen pokes out, shoots him twice in the head. He don't give a fuck! The Gangrel clan don't give a fuck! The Malks don't give a fuck! No one give a fuck!
Jesus.
I think the message would have come down from the... Okay, I think I'm gonna offer you a deal. Since you have done a lot of shady stuff, I will allow you to take down one of those starting humanity points, and in exchange, you are gonna have contact in the form of the Ventral Primogen in the city. Oh, not the Ventral Primogen, sorry, the Toreador one.
Yeah, one's already dead.
Essentially the Toreador would be the ones that make the most sense to have passed a message to you that, hey, the Ventral just got slaughtered, most people don't know, we could use a capable, ally.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine, I'll take that.
Okay. Other than that, you need a appropriate picture.
I have one. Let me grab it for you.
Yes, go ahead and you should be able to edit your sheet so you can add it to the to your sheet, and can take a look at your face, such as it will be.
Let's see.
This will affect your appearance score, Kappa.
Vivian will remember that.
Jesus.
What specifically?
Oh no, I was just copying the whole thing with, fuck, what are they called? You know those role-playing games like Walking Dead. Just little message pops up all the time. Your sire will remember this. The Tremere will remember this.
I think Maxim is just gonna go once he's healed. So, you think you're a predator, eh? Let me show you what a predator looks like.
Wait, is that towards me?
No, towards the new guy. Just look at the token picture. Would you not smack that down?
I can't. Please send.
Just can you send it to Demi?
Yeah, sure. Maybe if I wrote onto an Imgur.
Or you can just post it in tabletop.
Yeah,
Discord can send pictures, so you don't need to host it anywhere.
I'll put it in the tabletop. There.
See, I am a game grill primogen. I will tell you who's a predator or not. Jesus fucking Christ, that's disgusting.
I know, right?
I think even the Toreador are gonna have this is who I ended up in. Who did you send me, you fuck? Well, everyone knows that 5 minutes stretches from 4.5 minutes to infinity, Jackalor.
It really does.
So, give me a intelligence politics roll, and let's see what useful information I can give you in terms of what you might have heard about the city before you got here.
Okay, I am not tremendously familiar with Roll20. What am I typing in for a roll like that?
Go.
Macro.
Okay, at the top you should see a little gear right above the. Actually, no, it's not the gear. It's one of these things. The next to the gear, collections one, right? Right to the left of it. You should be able to see a list of macros there, and you can enable them and add them to your bar. We have the most common things set up. You would use the roll macro. First, you input the number of dice. Second, you input the difficulty you're rolling at, and you're good to go.
Okay. So which ones of these am I ticking? Just roll and
Add all of them. All of them have been used at some point.
all right. So you said I'm rolling what in politics?
Intelligence and politics.
Okay. So and then difficulty 6.
Yes. Okay. You have heard stories about the pretty much constant Cold War that this city has between two factions. One of them epitomized by apparently the Gangrel and Malkavians in close alliance of all things, systematically opposing the existing prince and all the people who support him, and apparently there's been a coup just now with the Ventru pretty much wiped out.
Okay.
News are kind of scarce for now, but apparently the Malkavians, with full support from the Gangrel, the Bruja, and others have seized power?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
All right.
Something about car chases and explosions?
Oh Jesus, the fuck people doing?
Apparently, for all that, there isn't news of huge amounts of bloodshed yet. But you know, it's a new prince in charge and things could well escalate. But hey, there's an opening here.
All right.
Welcome to the city.
Oh,
I would like to point out that in technicality, some of the news should also include that I was put into princedom unanimously.
Oh, that's gonna eventually spread as well, but for now the more excitable things about... I mean, they say she's voted in unanimously, but who can know? That might just be propaganda. People don't trust that part just yet.
I mean,
Aw,
the opposition is set.
It's gonna take a few weeks before people actually buy that. In other cities, that is.
Just a word of advice for Luka. If you ever sit in a car and it's for some reason a little bit hotter than usual, that's just seat warmers doing their job. Don't worry about it.
oh, of course, of course.
Also,
I'll keep that in
if Walda asks you to go for a ride and tells you that this is where the fun begins, just hold on to your pants and hope for the best.
Jesus. God.
If she asks for you to go for a ride, be aware it will be an exciting one.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Oh, and don't forget to introduce yourself as everybody's nightmare. That always works.
Also, reciting your lineage as descending from Dracula always helps as well.
Also, I recommend trying to assassinate Tegan Grau. It's a fun thing to do.
Okay, so now those merits and flaws, why don't you take us through them?
Okay. The common sense one I took for, I would presume, obvious reasons.
Have you read the books?
Yes, I've read the clan book for the Ventru, and I've read the V20 book.
You don't need common
Have
sense.
you read the Council of Primogen or the Princess Primer?
No, he hasn't got those. Look, I was trying to help him with his clan, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Wanna move on?
Let's run through these. Yes.
Okay. So the second merit that I took was eat food. I took this merit because specifically pertaining to my character's embrace, it was rather, I don't know if pleasant's not really the right word, but it had a bit more ease than usual, which allowed my character to retain the relative capability to consume mortal sustenance without immediately throwing it up.
Okay.
And I took prestigious sire because of the position of my character sire in the backstory. He was a prominent Ventru in Russia and was the ruler of a wealthy duchy.
Okay, and is he still alive, or did he manage to get himself killed in the revolution?
My character personally does not know, but I would say yes, he is still alive. But my character doesn't know of his fate.
Okay, given that he's probably a mid-tier elder from Russia at best, prestigious sire over in the New World might not make a lot of sense because people over here wouldn't necessarily know about him. He isn't local.
It might make a decent amount of sense, but it would require some stuff on the elders in this city to try and make that into a thing.
I mean, he might have traveled, sure, but all of you were digging around on the western coast of Europe back in the day. So, if he was basing himself closer to Russia, there's a good chance you wouldn't necessarily have run into each other. Maybe Demi, because I think he traveled Germany for a while, but even then.
I did. Yeah, I was in Germany.
My character went around to a lot of various courts. I think me and Demi are the most likely to actually have any info on them.
Yeah, but even in your case, like, it was France, England, and later on, I think Iberia with the pirates, mostly?
Think so, yeah.
Just a question though. Me and Epic may have gone to the New World before he even was embraced, maybe.
Certainly. That we might have even left before his sire was embraced, actually.
I mean, you
No,
definitely
no, not
left
that.
before Konstantine was embraced.
Yep. I left fairly early. I went into
Yeah.
1600s.
Ventru
I was
in
17.
Russia, which is pretty much ended up being Bruja Central and the revolution happening. He might have been sitting at 150 to 250 XP. So there is a chance you might have left before his sire was even embraced, yes.
God bless.
Old guy.
And
genes.
another thing is that in Europe, 8th gen is not as awesome as it is in the New World.
Yeah.
There, you're not a real elder if you're not 7 or above. Well, you kind of can be, but it's iffier.
Yeah. Try Spain.
Maybe a different merit then.
Okay, I can take a look through that.
I'm also
in a bit here.
How experienced are you at role-playing? Because I'm starting to seriously lean with some of the shit people have been pulling to just banning common sense.
Why?
With regards to RP, I've been role playing for probably 7 or 8 years.
How much of it in World of Darkness?
Not much. Not a ton. I can't actually put a timestamp on my World of Darkness play because it hasn't been consistent. But in total, I've partaken in 2 separate VTM games, or V20, I should say.
Okay, so about a year?
Sure. Yeah.
If you can describe to me in terms of backstory why you would have a lot of common sense. I guess you have had a very pragmatic backstory, let's put it that way. But
I feel that's a little mean. Common sense is really meant to help new players play.
it is, but sad and bacon and
Hey,
you
I
know how
talk
it
like
goes.
a player.
I know how it goes, but
My
you
concern
kinda have
here
to-
is like new players. I'm gonna help them anyway to some extent, but I feel like common sense kind of ends up being an excuse not to think.
That's the player's fault, not the common sense.
Yeah.
That's the player's fault, not the merit.
Yeah.
How about this? We get rid of the common sense, but I'm gonna let you advise him in case he gets into truly dangerous situations.
So we'll give him a ghost merit called counsel.
Sure. Honorary Malkavian. Spirit mentors. You now may take the dementation out of clan discipline if you so wish. Your sire had a horrible affair where he ended up eating a Malkavian. He never told you, but a bit of it caught on, apparently.
Oh my god. I mean, hey, I'll take it. I'll take my character will suffer from schizophrenia. That's fine.
I mean, let's be honest. You have to be a madman to be a Ventrue in Russia.
I mean, in all honesty, if you want to take a derangement, I think it was 3 flaw points that we went with for voluntarily
Yeah.
taking one.
We agreed with 3 points.
So if you want to go with schizophrenia,
I'm losing 2 merits, so I think I'll take another flaw. I'll take schizophrenia with a 3-point derangement, and then I'll take some better merits.
okay, you have 2 slots and a total of 5 points. There we tell him about discipline prodigy.
Well, we'll include it, but I'm pretty sure we don't allow its use for a decent amount of the things he currently has.
I mean, does he have Auspex?
It would work. I would say Auspex, Dominate, or Presence would be allowable.
You're going to let it use on Dominate? Fuck. You said no when I asked. Oh well.
Well, that's because I secretly hate you and I want you and all your works to fail and, fall into darkness.
He has a legitimate point.
I feel like that is expected with what I've done, but on the other hand, I feel discriminated against.
Fuck your discrimination.
Fucking proto-feminist, burn it!
So, I have something of an idea. If he would be willing to go with it, I'm not sure how it would work, but it would be an amazing merit to have for a new player.
Explain it and I'll tell you why it's not gonna get allowed.
I know it's not going to get allowed. I just said it'd be amazing for a new player. Lawman's friend.
I believe I'm familiar with that. That's the merit where you start out having positive relations with the sheriff, correct?
Yes.
The Bruja Sheriff, who hates people who cause trouble, who has the Malkavian Primogen nailed to a wall because she started a war with the Ventrue Primogen and killed her. That sheriff, the violent asshole who hates Ventrue and Malkavians equally right now. Ventrue probably more.
Well, you see, he's a nice guy.
Oh my god. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe let's not be friends with the
No.
person that hates
I
me.
was saying it's a good idea because he hates Venture and such a lot. Having decent relations with him initially would help a lot with not getting fucked over by him in the background.
Oh boy.
It was just an idea. It wasn't anything in
flaws
particular.
Are. Do they have to be at the end of the damn book?
Let's see.
Kurt.
Oh, here we are.
Let's see.
While I look for new merits, I also, since I talked to you about starting out with a small haven, and I talked to you about starting out with a sidearm. I have that on the dock. I don't know if you want me to transfer that onto.
I'm gonna
the
give you an
Roll20.
inventory sheet.
Okay.
Make sure to rename the mysterious note that isn't inventory to backstory. Like the others. I'm gonna give you a second one. If you just want a light pistol, you can have it. If you want a sun-safe apartment of some kind, you can have one. If you want more specially fitted stuff out, you're gonna have to actually go looking for it or send someone to buy it for you or ask someone, etc. But basic stuff, it can be arranged in advance. That's not a problem.
Right.
Cash.
The only thing I wanted to ask you about was there's I was looking into having a rifle in addition to a pistol, and I found one that was produced in the years just before the February Revolution, and then at another point after that. And I was going to inquire as if I could have my character say that he simply, being as that he was a noble and would have access to firearms of this caliber, that he could just take one prior to him leaving Russia.
It's not gonna be easy for the simple reason that you're trying to ship it across the Atlantic over multiple country borders.
Okay, it's fine. I'll just take it off the sheet in that case. Unless you'd have me roll for it or something.
You
like
have enough resources that if you spend a night or two just checking local gun vendors, you can just buy one. This is America in the 60s.
Yeah, this is New Orleans, America.
Southern America, no less. So, you know.
Oh, stereotypes, but yes, yeah, that's fine. I'll take the rifle off and I'll just have the pistol.
Ah, yes, smell that fresh air. You see Gangrel marking the edges of the Ventru territory. The dogs are already moving in.
Oh my god. You said I had five points to work with for another merit?
Yes, because you took a 3 extra and you removed 2 from the merits.
There's a couple of things that could be really good. There's a couple other things that are pretty decent. Kind of depends what you want to go for, really.
Right. I think I know what I want, but I need to find it.
What are you thinking of?
Hidden Diablo.
Fuck!
Mwah! Approved.
Yeah.
That was 3 points. Go ahead.
Yep. I'm gonna make use
But
of that.
it can't have been 1, even though he reeks of evil. His aura is clear.
You know, that would be good for so many reasons, but it's not very good against my character for a very different reason.
Natural. Let's see.
Meanwhile, Jackalor's preparing a more powerful Ventru. You shall be queen until one day a more beautiful and powerful one supplants you. Jackalor has appearance 3.
Oh, well,
I appearance 3. I thought I'd put it 2.
So, taking that one away.
Did I read that wrong?
I'll actually throw a question real quick then. Especially with the revelation of what you just picked there. Do you wish to be harmless?
Do I wish to be harmless?
I would recommend against it because it will make it harder for people to take you seriously as a leader.
It is one of those merits where it is more about people not paying attention to you being a good thing. But of course, the exchange is, well, people don't pay attention to you. So if your goal is to be a leader, it's pretty bad.
I mean, there's, 3 7 left in the city?
Probably
Vampires...
soon to be 2, but you know, just a theory there.
Well, actually there's 4, because Alan's still in town, somewhere. My chair, bitch! Give me back my chair!
That's a good point. Alan isn't dead per se. He just wants his chair really bad, which I currently own.
No, I did not eat the blood-hunted prince. Burp! Look at this new discipline I suddenly picked up! I can see the fairies!
I think I'm gonna take enchanting voice.
Yeah, of course, everyone wants that. We should probably up the cost of that or something. It's just too useful.
It
yeah,
is
it's
too
really
useful,
OP.
and we're kind of been abusing it.
You could always just lower the bonus that it gives you, and instead of having them be reduced by 2, you could reduce it by 1 and keep it as a 2-point merit.
Have 2 different versions, 4-point, 2-point.
Yeah, that worked too. I mean, I only have 2 points left to spend, and this is the only thing that really catches my eye, other than maybe Blush of Health as to improve my capability to converse with mortals, but...
That is very useful if you really want to converse with mortals, as I think your humanity is really low at the moment.
You
Six.
can spend the
6? Never mind,
extra...
you're alright.
You can spend the extra points on getting more backgrounds.
It is an option.
It's not a bad thing to do.
Right. I think I'll...
This would allow you to take that rifle if you justified it with maybe even a point of arsenal or something.
I think for starters, I'm gonna grab another point of generation.
Can't.
then
We agreed
start-
that your max
no.
was gonna be 9th.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Also, make sure to add your new contacts, contact background of 1 dot into the Roll20 sheet.
Okay.
And
It's a contact because they discovered who you were when you came.
Oh no, they actually passed a message to him.
Oh, no,
Probably
no. I listened to all of it, but just remember what we were talking about as image and everything. I was just saying, well, they were once an ally. They no longer wish to be so they're in contact.
It's like the Toreador Primogen has 4 dots of contact. He probably contacted a 6 to 7 likely looking Ventru who might take his side and might be young enough and hungry enough to risk coming here. You know, just ones that hit the sweet spot, and he's just the first one to show
send
up.
off word to see if I could get some Ventru into the city.
Oh yeah, he's already done it.
How did he do that? He was drunk off his ass last we talked.
I mean, yes, but cocaine doesn't last that long for vampires, so he probably called some people between hits.
Fuck you! My
just
contacts are faster.
Okay, would you be fine if I just poured the remaining 2 points I have into getting Arsenal 2?
Yes, do you need 10 shotguns/rifles with a huge number of, reasonable number of smaller sidearms? Do you need that many weapons? What are you planning, son? Tell me.
Well, how else is he gonna rush Elysium?
Jesus Christ. I mean, if I'm coming here into a clan whose power has been whittled down to nearly nothing, it wouldn't be bad to start with an arsenal of weapons to slowly give to my growing... how do I want to word this? My growing throng.
An arsenal of 1 dot is essentially gonna be 5 real weapons, so 5 rifles or shotguns, with sufficient ammunition to not worry about it in any immediate sense.
Right.
So, unless you're planning to grow your clan beyond 5 or 6, a single dot of arsenal is gonna see you fine, especially as you can buy more guns.
Okay. In that case, I could... how would you feel about me putting a dot in Retainer, and I could write up a bit about finding someone in France, or perhaps on my journey over to the New World School, and to keep on as a bodyguard of some degree?
As far as just basic retainers go, they would have 6-4-3 in stats, 11-7-4 in abilities, and 7 freebie points. You can definitely have someone like that. You just need to tell me what you want them to be like, and I'll draw up a sheet for them. Generally speaking, you won't know their exact total location, but I'm just gonna assign it based on what you want to prioritize.
Okay. I have to take a quick phone call, so I'll be right back.
Okay. You know, it started so bright. Such a delicate backstory. Spent 44 years paying off a boot. I want to take his and Diablerie, boys.
Is this a good time to mention that my combo discipline lets me detect it without having to do the aspect thing?
Shh! Shh! You shut your bitch mouth, don't tell him that!
How that you want to use it only for you. How you are going to detect if you are dead.
He starts with Vivian. Bitch, I'm already crazy.
Just remind me of something, because I can't see his sheet, but I remember, on the start, isn't he pretty weak on the whole social things with empathy, expression, intimidation, leadership, subterfuge?
He is, but he has 4 and 5 in his relevant attributes, so...
It's not as low as it sounds, basically.
Yeah, okay.
He's not super specialized in them, yeah, but he's specialized in other bits.
So. Yeah, he's focusing etiquette for his social, and oh boy. Oh, he's gonna learn the joys of decadence, of snorting coke off of models' thighs, things like that.
To say about it.
Welcome back, Luka.
Hello.
Listen! You're gonna tell a vampire what he can do in his own house. You bitch!
I can tell them what to do in Elysium.
Find a bench.
So it's just gonna turn into, hey, I'd like to invite a certain group of people I like after Elysium closes to my personal apartment for a little after party. I think you would fit well. You're just gonna move the venue, Epic. It's not gonna stop.
Oh, it will stop. You'll find out.
I think we need to start a revolution.
You know, it's... I don't intend to purge anyone. Well, maybe just Alan. Burn them all!
Gotta start somewhere.
As if I don't need to go that far. Who needs to purge? I'm an Elder Malkavian.
I know what happened to an Elder Malkavian when he tried to fuck with Bacon.
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah, that's
I'll shoot my own shots. I know what happened to an Elder Malkavian that fucked with Baltimore.
You're not playing Baltimore right now.
Look, I know what happened to a certain Ventrue Prince when he fucked with nothing in particular.
Yeah.
Ventrue Primogen.
You keep trying. That wasn't even you, that was Walda. You were trying to stop her, if I recall.
pussy.
Isn't it great? And yet it's attributed to me.
You'll notice, by the way, Luka, the handcuffs on the west and east riverside, those denote the territory currently controlled by the demon.
Oh, is that what
alrighty.
that is?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh.
You didn't
Okay.
notice?
Wow,
You know, now that you
I'm
think
impressed.
about it, that might be the by the water the hunters meant where the bodies are turning up. It's by the riverside.
God damn, US. Wait a second, is that the hunt? Oh, yeah, actually, Marines. Yeah. Hey, that bitch.
Would you like me to tell you now where I would like my ghouls' focuses to be?
Sure.
Tertiary. Okay.
Well, tell me what kind of things you want them to be able to do, not what I should make primary. I'm gonna...
I would I kind of want the ghoul to be a bruiser, in a sense. Somebody that I can use as my arm when I'm otherwise occupied.
Okay, so someone who can smash skulls and be sufficiently intimidating.
Yes.
So, okay.
I can't wait for his ghoul to meet my ghoul.
Oh, you think you're tough, laddie?
I can't wait to actually go and blood boil your ghoul epic.
What? Blood boil my ghoul? You just want to try and kill him? Ah, that's your choice.
The question isn't whether you can blood boil him. The question is whether you can blood boil him before the claymore comes down.
I'll just do a handshake, you know?
I don't think he's shaking your hand. He's heard about you in passing. Hi,
Cowards.
Keegan.
Have you ever tried flirting with your blood boiling?
Yes, he did. He got bitch slapped.
Okay, let's see. Intelligence 1, but up his wits. That sounds good. Intimidation, brawl, bit of athletics, bit of alertness, bit of streetwise. Tiny bit. Probably can drive, probably knows how to use firearms, bit of melee, bit of stealth. Freebies. Let's take up brawl and intimidation further. And take up athletics a little bit. And the extra point goes into not much conscience, lots of willpower. Let's take that up even further with one of the last freebie left. Bruiser, you said, so that sounds like a bravo to me. With a soldier demeanor. Pick me a name! Jackal, we can hear you scrolling.
I gotta think of a name that's actually intimidating.
Rex.
No. This is
French name generator. Gerard Bescond. There we go.
Jyhad, that's fine.
Of course, when people laugh about his surname, he's gonna break people.
Good. That's fine. As long as he doesn't, maybe I don't take him to social gatherings, but he'll be fine otherwise.
Yeah, best not. He might face off the wrong goal. Let's see. Oh, god damn it. I'm searching for French bruiser. Apparently they don't exist.
What are you surprised?
No, but I had a hope.
You just have to go to your local bakery.
It didn't have to be a Frenchman that I met in France. I could have met someone from, say, Italy.
Ireland.
Remember when Jackalor met a Italian ghoul with Serath?
By the way, didn't Jack once botch something getting somebody in this game, and we never figured out what that did? Wow, I am surprised I just remembered this.
Don't believe so.
You don't have an opinion here, Jack, now.
I'm gonna make a new handout. I'm gonna call it Shit to Remember. Everyone can add to it and view it.
Oh, sweet! I can just put it in there?
And if you remember things in the future, or unless we remember something from the past that we all collectively forgot, that's where we're gonna put it. Okay? Let's just do it that way and not worry about it.
This is why you need to tell the non-participants more of the... so we can remind you to play.
By the way, there is currently a 5th gen Tremere from Vienna investigating Jackalor's character in that city. That's gonna be completely fine. It's not like her even being here is a major fuck up on his part.
She's here to visit.
She's here to enjoy the sights.
I
Right?
rolled a random die when I created the character to see how much of a cunt she was. I rolled a 1. There is no kindness in her. Her heart is black.
That face when she's worse than William. Oh no.
I mean, I'm not even sure that's worse than William per se, but
It's just
I can
lateral.
I can work with cunts. I can't work with cunts that won't work with me.
Oh my god. When even the prince is like, oh, you want him? Yeah, take him. It's fine. Mind you, this Malk has contacts and boons out to the Setites for past happenings, so you know.
I told you I can work with cunts.
Camilla isn't a cunt. She's differently moral, okay? Don't be so intolerant.
Ah, Jesus, what did we mention? There was something to remember from last session. Shit.
I don't think we finished going through my flaws, by the way. My other 2 flaws.
Yes, let's do that.
They're pretty basic. My first one is a 1-point twitch, or a tell. My character's left eye will twitch uncontrollably from anywhere between a few seconds to a few minutes.
Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot once you go to the Gangrel Elysium.
And I have a 2-point phobia for an uncontrollable fear of arachnids.
Did you meet a were-spider when you were young? Be honest.
Oh god.
They just devour blood and use blood for their magic. It's okay. Unless if they were spiders stole any of your blood.
I don't want to talk.
The legs! I still remember the legs! The skittering legs!
It grew 8 of them. It only had 2 from the beginning, but suddenly there were 8.
God.
You don't know if Phalite got bitten by a were-spider. It might have been hunting the lane.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
Here's maybe a possibly more reasonable idea. A Zimisi making a fucking human spider-like thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Nah, spiders are more fun.
You're actually more likely to have something with the werewolves or maybe the were-reckoning.
They were creatures.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's in Russia initially. So.
Russia does have the sept of the
The sept of the what? You cut out
crescent
that.
moon or whatever. It's a really big sept, one of the
Yeah.
biggest in the world.
Goddamn Ruskies, man.
Russia is Silverfang territory.
Yeah,
Yes.
the supposed leaders of the Garu nation.
It's also where eventually, a certain Methuselah wakes up called Baba Yaga.
I
No
know.
one likes that.
Yeah, that's
And
fucking
then-
creepy. Like
the
an appearance
iron-
zero.
This is scary, okay?
The Iron Curtain fucked with the werewolves.
No.
so hard.
Remember, Baba Yaga gets bitch slapped by
Chuku.
Abysmal Art.
Oh, for fuck's sake! This isn't lore discussion! So, any more questions, Luke, about things you might know, things we would need to cover, etc., etc., etc.?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. Hidden fucking Diablerie.
God bless.
Has your character ever Diablerized yet?
That was something I considered. It's something I mean, I'd like to say yes, but would it? I'm not sure if I'd want it to be, or if you would allow Diablerie to lower my gen by 1, or Diablerie of someone of the same generation.
Generally, you can't tell per se very easily, so
Mm-hmm. Well, I was speaking, of course, mechanically with that question.
Huh.
I mean, the Tremere are about to die out in this city, right?
I wouldn't mind adding a paragraph or two to my backstory to discuss.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like a
America,
wall of text.
someone-
These other fucks are so much more lazy.
I mean, I love writing, so that
Ah.
helps. But
Mine really just depends how much I get into my character. I wanted to play this as a character,
Oh,
though.
for fuck's sake. Epic sidetracking, please. I won't automatically lower your generation, but I will consider... You know what? Let's do it this way. We'll treat it as a dark secret. And the trade-off for taking that is that you have the extra generation. But it would have been someone who you would be, you know, actually seen as a douchebag for eating.
okay. Let me jot
But
that
did he
down.
get anything for it?
He
I
got,
got
a generation point.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Wow. Damn.
Which generation is he now?
8.
We
Oh. Damn.
You're still more powerful.
I mean, yeah, but you know, he.
I mean, half done is gonna get fucked.
I mean, it's not like you're the only one who's eaten people here. There's like 4 Diablerists that are known in the city.
The Malkavians have like 2 of them.
Is it horrible that I've actually forgotten that we had multiple?
Kurt, the Nosferatu Primogen, Byron, the Tremere Michelle.
Oh,
That's 4.
Yeah, that is 4. I completely forgot.
I mean, it's
Weirdly, I remember
5 if,
Byron.
it's 5 if you count Byron's alternate personality.
Yay?
I'm gonna change his trigger to when he thinks, essentially, when he believes that people think he's a monster, is when he flips to Harvey.
Cool. So, when people believe he is a monster, he is a monster. He is his own mage.
Okay. And he's gonna flip from Harvey to Byron when he believes people think he's a nice person.
Never.
Well, you create your own problem because Harvey has eaten one more person than Byron and has a quiet as that, which makes him truly terrifying.
I mean, I don't have problem. I like Byron, and Alan like Byron. Huh.
Okay, but I think that's everything, right?
Yep.
Well then,
What the fuck was Harvey again?
Harvey's his alternate personality. He
Oh,
hasn't come
yeah.
up much. His derangement flipped, essentially, to
Yeah,
split personality at one point.
because you punished him, or no, somebody tried to hurt you, or something like that. Somebody tried to.
Byron smashed my chest open, and I went into torpor.
Yeah, right. That's what happened.
Okay,
Probably.
so if we are wrapped up with that, I think we can leave it here with you, Luka. And as for your new character, Bacon, you know the rules more or less. Make sure you record everything properly. Try not to fuck up on Matt, and we can start with your character if you can show up half an hour earlier. That would be ideal, and we can go through your stuff then.
Yeah, I just need to remember how much XP I get.
150 with more backgrounds or 200 with less. So
I can write to him. I can write to him everything he told me.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was already written to him, but
It was.
yes.
Let me copy paste from Jackalor.
okay, I'm gonna end the video here and the stream, and we'll see you tomorrow for gloriousness.